Greetings, YouTube. Ho ho ho, 'tis the season to be jolly. I've put together a gift for my friend Felicia, and it starts with this toolbox, which I picked up at a yard sale. Now, all of these items here that I'm including in this, with the one exception, were picked up at yard sales and thrift shops and flea markets. And in fact, she was with me when I got that right there, and was unaware of that fact. So I'm putting together a very basic toolkit for her to keep in her house. This is not car specific, this is just general usefulness. She really needs a good car mechanics set because she recently got herself a vintage car, though I don't remember what kind. It's a Nova, I can't remember what year it is. But she's all happy about it. She had it shipped from wherever the heck she is, she bought it. But yeah, she and her father are working on it, and she's using his tools, but she really needs her own. But that's outside my budget, but I can put together a decent household set for her as a gift. So what we're going to have, we have a set of adjustable wrenches, rather a set of a ratchet, very basic ratchet set. I got a couple of brand new blades to go with that handle for doing tight work, and I'll show you in a minute that I actually have a proper hacksaw if you want to do some heavier duty cutting. Zip ties, because everybody needs zip ties. These are set of box end wrenches, very basic set. These are American standard. A very simple pry bar, which I just touched up. It needed some work. I needed to clean up some edges. Somebody had used it as a hammer. They really beat on this thing, but I just cleaned it up so that now it looks a whole lot better, and it's going to work better because that head down there was a little on the thick side, so now it's not so thick, so it should actually pry better. We have an angle gauge, which is always handy if you're transferring measurements from one thing to another. Again, a bit driver set, and I own a copy of this particular bit driver set, and I quite like it. So I'm hoping she will like it as well. A simple set of American standard Allen keys, a folding knife, and I actually have this folding crafting knife in my collection as well. It's quite nice. A very simple 6-bit, or 4-bit driver. Sometimes you need to get into you need a straight shaft, and this is the kind of thing you can do, you can use. And if you really need to, you can make a blank, non-metallic blank go into the shaft, so you can actually put other bits in there, and you can just use a wooden dowel for that. So you can turn this into a bit driver with a broken pencil. Stick a broken pencil in there if you need to. So you can turn this into a straight bit driver in the event you're in a tight spot. A set of brad wood bits, like just drill in larger holes through wood. Not going to happen often probably, but it could. We have a, oh shoot, I forgot an item. So there's a blank spot on my thingy because I was just using that. Adjustable wrench, which is quite handy. I know, I was just using it. 2 files. One is a rat tail file, and the other is 2 flat sides that has a teardrop cross section. So one side is a little thicker than the other. Always nice to have a couple of files kicking around. She's going to have to pick up some handles for those. I didn't have a chance to do that. A small bullet level. A very common utility knife. This has in the blade storage, in the handle storage, which is nice, and you don't need tools to change the blades, also handy. 2 pair of pliers, 1 alignment pliers and 1 needle nose. Channel lock style pliers, so you've got your plier needs covered there. 2 squares, 1 speed square and 1 just more of a classic square. Keeping things square when you're doing work, or just to see if things are square, if you need to make an adjustment. A set of drill bits, a ball peen hammer, and a small mallet. I actually had picked up a claw hammer for her until I discovered she already owned one, so I don't need to give her one of those. Means there's more space in the toolbox for other things. Or she could put the one she has currently sitting in her kitchen drawer into this toolbox. This is a pipe wrench for underneath the sink if you need to make a plumbing adjustments. Now, she is a renter, but as a renter, I've had to make adjustments before, so handy to have. And speaking of pipe wrenches, a small pipe wrench. We have a bungee cord, C-clamp, and a spring clamp. sometimes you just need to clamp on stuff. And one of the nice things about this, you can decide which one she likes better and if she needs more of either of them. I own multiples of both. I find them very, very handy myself. We have a Craftsman staple gun, always nice to have. And I happen to particularly like this style where the hinge is in the back. So I think it gives you better ergonomic power, more comfortable, and sometimes a staple is all you need to fix something and you're good to go. And we have a small gauge. This is for figuring out drill bit sizes and things like that. Very handy to have. Also just generally useful to have around. I've got one of these, and it was a nut and bolt gauge, and I find it quite useful. We have this, which is the hacksaw I mentioned. So nice, you got two real blades and two different ways to hold them. Should be able to cover most of her hacksawing needs. And then we have this item here, which is a Craftsman 3/8 inch drill. And this is an older model, and it's an older model because this used to belong to my grandfather. And I'm giving it to my friend Felicia because I'm not using it. It's just sitting in my collection doing nothing. And that's not right. I would rather see my grandfather's drill get used because I now have a 1/2 inch drive and I use that all the time. And I just don't have a need for a 3/4 or a 3/8 inch drive drill bit. I just don't. So since she doesn't have one at all, having any kind of drill will be a step in the right direction. And it means that it's going to someone who I know will actually use the thing. Because Felicia is a handy, crafty kind of person, and I really appreciate that. So this is going to be her gift, and I'm going to cram it all in that box. Cram it in. I'm going to organize it so it looks nice. And then give it to her shortly, because it's almost, at the time of this filming, it's almost time to be giving gifts. And me being me, since I had the angle grinder out already, I turned a tilling blade into a throwing star. I really need to target, because I don't have one at the moment that I can use this against. The trunk I've got outside is just too difficult to hit a cylindrical object for me. I need a flat, big log. I don't have one. But, you know, I can't not make a weapon now, can I?